This is the U.S. Bank Cougar Coaches Show on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield. U.S. Bank. Life keeps moving. We're here for every step. U.S. Bank. Member FDIC. Tonight's show is also brought to you by Zappos, the home for the Cougar Coaches Show, where the Palouse comes to play and eat. Live from Zappos, here's the voice of the Cougars, Matt Chazanow.
Back here live, it is that time of the week. We're talking ball with Coach Dickert as we get set for Arizona State. And this is the last game before the bye. This is the final four-game stretch of the regular season. Amazing that we're there. Arizona State, Oregon. Arizona, last home game. That's a Friday game. And then the Apple Cup Friday in Seattle. Coach, this last one, after just a wild week, you know, you've got this incredible set of circumstances for unprecedented reasons, things that frankly happen in college athletics. Coaching changes are made, but the context and the reasons were very unique. And you go out there and, boy, shades of gray against a BYU team that clearly BYU's thing is they just don't make mistakes.
Correct.
Right? They're good. They're sound. Great running back.
Well coached, big physical football team. You know, there's a lot to take away from last Saturday. You know, and I told our guys after in the locker room, I'm immensely proud of them. You know, their effort, their heart, their passion. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you could see it on the field, and they did it for 60 minutes. We knew we were going to be in a 60-minute game. You know, we knew we're a talented team as well. There's a lot to take away from that, and you know, like I said, when you lose to good teams, it shows you are a good team, especially in that fashion. So. A lot to clean up, but a lot to take away, and just really proud of our guys.
Yeah, there were some questions that you never get from fans this week. That coach, that not you, but any coach would get. Is practice happening?
Yeah.
Who's running the drills? And I think fans didn't know what to expect, and what they saw was a pretty cohesive unit.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, what they saw was the result of, after a wild week, and you know, Dan Morrison and Dennis McKnight just arriving on the scene in a unique situation. Pretty organized crew.
But I think what you saw is trust. And I think that's hard to develop and understand, but I think this football team trusts us. You know, and I know we lost a lot of the staff, but I think they believed in our mission, and they believed in what we were going to do to put them in the right place. And that was my biggest message to them all week was, guys, trust in the process, right? Faith, trust, and belief. And I think that showed, and I think they played there. And then by the time we got to the second half, things start to settle down. Okay, we got this. Let's keep moving forward. We didn't finish like we wanted to, but I think there was a lot to take away, and communication was smooth on the sideline from coach to player, and you know, we're just looking to build off that this week.
You know, sometimes when you lose by even 21 points, you say, well, it came down to a couple plays. No, this was a 2-point loss, and it really did come down to just a couple of plays.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
No, it's very fair. You know, and I think, you know, it's a learning lesson when you play good opponents. You know, you got to have to go take it. And, you know, I think there was just a couple things where we left out on the field. You know, I told our guys after the game, you know, offense, defense, special teams, there's going to be those couple plays that we're going to want to have back. But our guys are going to learn from it. They're going to grow from it, you know, and we're chasing progress. And our guys are going to progress this week and hopefully go out there and make those plays this week.
So now you settle into this week. You're getting set to go to Tempe tomorrow. And what was the decompression like for you now on the back end as the head man with that offensive button on the headset now, right?
I found it. I did find it. It took me a while to click over a couple times, but
well,
I was like, oh, different. These voices, I recognize these voices.
I know those guys.
We're good to go. So a little bit of normalcy is what I would say this week. This week brought, you know, from just a practice standpoint, an effort standpoint, an energy standpoint, and I think our guys just, you know, really did a good job attacking all week. And from a coaching staff, now Coach Morrison, Coach McKnight, they actually had a chance to, you know, be in meetings, be at practice, do drills, film study the whole week instead of just hopping in there on game day. So it's been more of a normal week, and I think our guys have really responded to it.
I've had a lot of fun watching Coach McKnight.
Oh yeah,
you
can't not. You can't not. Big barrel-chested guy. You know, he talks that loud all the time. That's the best part. Even if we're in the office in the staff meeting, like he's got his coach's voice on, and it just there's passion, and I think you can just see it. And he's really taking this role on head on, just saying, hey, I'm here for you guys, right? And I think our guys have done a good job of just saying, hey, we're lifelong learners, you know, so especially at O-line in such a technical position. Hey, there's a little tweak here, a little balance thing, a little thing with your hips you can do a little better. But he just loves passion, and he's flying around at practice. It's fun to watch.
10-year NFL pro.
Yeah.
Looks like it.
He still does.
Yeah.
Still does. Looks a little bit like Goldberg.
He looks
still like Goldberg.
Now you're really touching the heart. Yeah,
yes.
love it.
So, the guys just relate to him, and he's got such experience and depth and knowledge. So it's fun to watch him coach our guys.
And now Dan Morrison is a little bit quieter than Coach McKnight. That's a high bar, in full fairness. But he's out there, and in my observations, he's really kind of gone back a little bit to the basics, and he's starting not totally from scratch, but he's trying to figure out probably what he's got and who's listening and who's paying attention and what's going on in the film. In the film room I don't see, but practice you can see he's out there. He's really directing things, but he's not just starting at step 10.
No, I think Coach Morrison's very methodical, in his thoughts and in his actions, and he wants to see things through Jaden's eyes. And I think that is what great coaches do, especially stepping into this situation. Hey, what do you like? What did you see there? I know what I'm seeing, but how can we make these two things work together, especially in a short period of time? So getting Jaden comfortable and keeping him comfortable and aggressive and just letting him play and be him, I think is very important. I think he's done a really good job of that so far.
How about the other spots there, the cornerback spot, the DBs?
Coach Malone has been with me for a long time. We actually coached Division II together at Mankato State. And then I know when I got the job here, he was one that I really trusted to come in and be an analyst role and then learn and grow. And then, he's been with our corner room all year. So I think that was a seamless transition to move into that realm and, just be himself and do that every day. And he's growing his responsibilities, so that's exciting to see.
From a drill standpoint, and I by dumb luck was right next to him. Actually, I was too close.
You see the boxing gloves?
So I was in it, and I had to back away and realize, he has missed a beat. I mean, he knows exactly, and nor did the guys in those drills. And this is in the bubble at some point, over the last couple of weeks, and you could see, Coach Malone he's right in it.
Smooth transition, effort, energy. Yeah, he put boxing gloves on the guys so they couldn't grab the receivers as they're doing drills.
I was wondering. Okay.
So people put boxing gloves on them, or they'll make them hold tennis balls as they're punching, not to grab.
Got it.
So it's just one of those things where, if you even make them do one-on-ones like that, they just create some good habits. So
it's also kind of fun.
It is fun, because eventually they start hitting each other. They're like kids, right? Eventually you're just like kids, and they just go from there. So it's fun deal.
It's a lot of fun. You've got yourself a really tough game here, right? I mean, ASU was a preseason kind of sneaky pick to do really big things. It's actually really telling. ASU's 5-2, 3-1 in the pack, and not having the kind of year they thought they would, right? Like they could be 7-0. This is that kind of ball club, isn't it?
Oh, I think it's easy to see when you watch the tape. And it's not just talented guys; it's experienced guys. So the whole roster is like 6-year seniors.
Yeah, their entire defense. 10 of their 11 guys are either grad students or redshirt seniors. I mean, it's the most experienced team you could almost possibly play because of COVID.
Yes.
Like in the history
I would agree.
Football.
You just can't replicate game days and that experience, and they've seen everything, and they're coming off a bye.
Right.
So, there's an extra week of preparation for what we do, and our guys will be ready to go, but I think this is a very talented team we're going to face.
Yeah, the only thing that they're going through is something is a little bit different, but they had an off-field issue, so they have a few of their assistants that were pulled off, and it was about 4 weeks ago, 4 to 6 weeks ago.
I think before they started sometimes.
Yeah, it was earlier, and now they are off a loss to Utah. And they also lost to BYU, which is interesting.
Yeah, and I'm not a score chaser, comparison guy, but it lets you know that this is going to be a 4-quarter game. Our guys have prepared for 60 minutes, and we're just looking for those plays to make down the stretch to finish it off for a Cougs win.
It's a beautiful thing that I get to say things that coaches can't.
Oh, I know.
I've been told so many times, you can't do that. It's 1 week at a time. Well, actually, Coach can't,
right.
but I can do it. It's great. All right, we're going to take a break. We're up against it here. I'm seeing the clock. We are got the ASU Sun Devils coming up Saturday afternoon kick. It's their first day game all year.
Really?
ASU's first day game. Yeah, we'll take a break. We're talking ball here with Coach Dickert.
Business as usual is a thing of the past, but the entrepreneurial spirit keeps us closing in on our dream. That's why U.S. Bank makes sure solutions are a conversation away, so we can help you adapt and evolve your business, no matter what comes up. Because even in uncertainty, you can be certain we have your back. U.S. Bank. We'll get there together. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Hey, Hey, Kook fans! Can't decide what to do with your late-night weekends? Why not Cosmic Bowling? Every Friday and Saturday night from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. is Cosmic Bowling at Zeppo's. At a price designed with everyone in mind, we are your destination for music, disco lights, and of course, bowling. Can't join us on the weekends? Zeppo's is the place to be for all ages every day of the week. With bowling, food, and drink specials, we offer prices that won't break the budget. You can even reserve your lane in advance with online reservations at Zeppos.com. When looking for fun in Pullman, look no further than Zeppo's.
Cougar football.
Rolling right with the ball, going to throw the long ball down the middle, man open.
Watch the end zone, leaping grab, touchdown, and the Palouse is going to pop.
Cougar football from Learfield. This is Cougar basketball.
To the bucket, rises, swirls, shot good, counted with English. Papagini to the sky.
Tune in Tuesday, November 9th as Kyle Smith and the Cougs open up the season at home against Alcorn State.
Rodman steps into a three and has his third. Bounces left side, Jackson, hammer time. Williams, step back, top of the arc for the tie. Yes! He buries it.
It's only on your home for Cougar basketball, the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
That to-do list you have needs one more thing. Chill. It's an easy thing to do. Just crack open an ice-cold Coors Light and chill. Take the afternoon off and binge watch anything. Go to happy hour and stay for a couple hours. Who's counting anyways? Or hang out with just your dog, because you've had enough human interaction this week. Whatever you do it with a Coors Light. Mountain cold refreshment made to chill. 2020 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Interact with the show. Tweet your questions to Matt Chazanow using the handle @M_Chaz. That's M_CHAZ.
Back at it live here. We're talking ball with Coach Dickert at Zeppo's. It is the Sun Devils week as we get set for ASU. Hey, we're going to have a couple of secondary guys, and I don't want to forget to ask you about Shaw Smith-Wade.
Awesome.
That's your guy.
Yes.
He came over with you.
He did.
I know that's your guy.
Yep.
So we're going to have that story on the air. I believe Caleb Ford-Dement and Shaw Smith-Wade will both join us on here, so I'm excited to talk to those guys. We're loaded with questions here, Coach.
I love it.
We got tons of write-ins for you. We'll go with this first one. This is arbitrary off the top. Great article in the newspaper about Jaden DeLaura maturing as a leader this season. Who are some other Cougs that have stepped up as leaders?
Well, I think I alluded to it this week. I was really proud of, everyone gets to know Max as the player, right? He sees him making all those great plays, but he really stepped up this last week, and he was one of our best senior leaders to say, hey, let's move on. Let's keep moving forward. We got a lot of things that we want to finish and accomplish as a group of seniors, and I know we don't see Max that way always as a senior, but he just keeps moving and moving, and I was so happy with him and how he did it last week. And Armani Marsh is a guy that always comes to mind, and R.J. Stone. I think everyone laughs at R.J. because he's got such a big personality and voice, and he'll tell you about it. But what a great leader and a great presence, and his energy just keeps pushing us through.
When guys do that, like Max, he's a vocal guy, right? And he's got a great personality, but maybe he wasn't always, rallying the guys. Are there obvious moments where that occurs, or are you observing maybe more nuanced times in the locker room or after practice?
Yeah,
are they really team together?
Yeah, just nuanced times. And I think it's more, sometimes it's behind the scenes, just the mindset, and just saying, hey, we're going to do this, all of us, and everyone's going to look to us to set the tone. And I think, anytime you're, a leader on a team or voted captain, the toughest moments, right, that we were going through, that is when true leadership reigns. And that's what we saw last week.
What is your Okay, we're going to go all over the place here. So
Halloween
this is not,
question? What do we got?
Well, those are coming.
Okay,
I know those are buried in there, so
okay.
that's happening. But
okay.
this is not football. What's your favorite movie? Fans are trying to get to know you.
Okay.
That's what this is. They're trying to get to know you a little bit. What's your favorite movie, and how does that guide your coaching? So maybe it's a football movie. Maybe it's not a football movie.
It isn't a football movie, and my wife makes fun of me because every time it's on the TV, I can watch it every time, and it's Shawshank Redemption.
Oh, I love that movie.
It's
a
classic
flick.
movie.
Great
Classic
flick.
movie.
Yeah.
It's one that I love, and if I'm going to go silly in comedy, I'm an old school Dumb and Dumber fan.
Nice.
It's just a silly little movie that.
Nice.
So
big gulps, eh?
yes, the one-liners from there are epic.
Just wanted you to know that we support you. This is a write-in question. Just wanted you to know we support you 1,000%. Appreciate you stepping up in this difficult situation. Go, Coach Jake, and our Cougs. All right, there you go.
Well, that's a great question. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, yep.
And Matt, I want to say, everyone that showed up on Saturday, was greatly appreciated. They were heard, they were loud, and it was passionate. So I know our guys know and appreciate that. So we appreciate you guys too.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Hey, what is your favorite Halloween costume? Here we go with the Halloween question.
Okay.
Halloween's on Sunday.
And this is true. Okay, this isn't me making this up. Okay, so when I grew up, there was the Scream trilogies.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have one of those Scream trilogy masks.
Yes.
Right, and if you see it, it just sends chill down your spine. So like last year, we weren't even playing yet, and we were meeting up in the press box.
Right.
So I put my mask on and I hid behind, trying to scare the linebackers.
Did it work?
Oh, they got ice in their veins.
I
was like, they're like, Coach, stop playing around.
Yeah, were they like Coach Dickert?
No, my kids, on the other hand,
they got scared.
Come Sunday, they'll wake up and I'll be in my mask and they'll start running to their mom. So you got to keep them on their toes.
I love it.
Yep.
That's fun.
That's my go-to.
That's fun. Scream. Well, that was great. Who's a player to watch for this week? We'll do a little more in-depth ASU preview, but who's a player, and that's for a Coug player. Who's a Coug player to watch for this week?
Well, I think a guy that, not that he floats under the radar, but I think defensively, Brennan Jackson has just been doing a phenomenal job, and just his effort and his energy and passion just goes out there every day. I think he's one to watch on defense. And then Lincoln Victor, I just think he just continues to grow. He knows his role, he understands his role, and he's excelling in his role. And as a coach, it's awesome to watch.
Lincoln Victor's a great football player. Sometimes you can see some guys like, hey, that's a great wide receiver.
Yep.
But he's just a wide receiver. Nothing wrong with that.
Yes.
Right? Some wide receivers are great wide receivers. We've had players here on the Palouse sometimes who are very interchangeable, guys who can do lots of things. Lincoln Victor seems like he's one of those guys, like special teams tackles.
Special teams, punt,
Yeah.
Trying to block one, kickoff. I mean, just it's fun to watch him do what he does with such passion and energy.
And he's got a good arm. He was an all-state QB.
And he'll tell you about that, too.
Yeah,
And it's a good thing. So maybe we'll get something up our sleeves. We'll get him to toss one, too.
He could. So Brinker knows him. AB knows him from the area, and he said, hey, he can really spin it.
He can.
What is the biggest improvement the team has made since last week? What do you think? Since BYU, what do you think they're working on?
Oh, that's a good one. I just think, a lot of it's specific scheme-wise to Arizona State. We just got to make sure we're minimizing the penalties and getting ourselves behind the chains. And then on defensively, it's been a big week for tackling. Let's make sure our aim points are low. We're wrapping and squeezing. Going to get another big back this week, and we just got to be a little bit more efficient. So I know our indie drills are really designed to make sure we're doing a little bit better tackling.
And a credit to BYU, right? I mean, five incompletions, no turnovers, and 2 penalties, I think, is the stat.
They played pretty safe and clean.
Pretty clean.
Really clean.
Safe's a good way to put it, too. No didn't try
controlled,
to do it tough.
Very controlled. Very controlled.
Straightforward. This is a tough question.
That's all right.
Can we stop the ASU running game?
Well, that's been the question. But
That's a great question.
Yes, that's the plan. I will say that is the plan. Not everything goes to the plan, but we'll be ready to go. And I think our guys have, they heard it, they're aware of it. There's a want to there. And what I keep telling people is guys that play hard, care about it, take coaching, we'll coach those type of kids every time. And that's the calling card. It's not always perfect. But we have really improved this season, and I tell guys, don't forget about that improvement. So we're excited about that, and we need to continue to grow in that area.
They put you on the spot there, Coach.
That's okay. That's okay. I can take some good curveballs. That's good.
What is your favorite Halloween candy?
Oh,
this has been going around, and this touched hearts of folks in the Palouse because one Mike Leach who was here was virally. Yeah. Everybody in Starkville and the SEC is like, oh, he doesn't like candy corn. Like, well, Cougs have known that for a decade.
Okay. The 3 pretty easy ones for me. Okay. Peanut butter cups, and if
they're your favorite.
They're my favorite, and more the Easter ones for whatever reason.
Oh, they're like the shit.
The chocolate to peanut butter ratio is fantastic.
It's a percentage game.
It is, and then the 2 curveballs, maybe they're underrated. Caramello.
Interesting.
Have you ever had a caramello?
Interesting. Yeah,
I love them. Okay, and then paydays.
Oh, okay.
I'm a huge fan of a payday.
Nice.
I have a tendency to get the king size.
Go big.
I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm not gonna mess around with the medium size. So those 3 are in my heart.
Love it. The peanut butter ones. It's the best. That's the best. Love it.
And if you stop by the Dickert household, I'm going to tell my wife we're going full-size candy bars.
You'd be the favorite house. That's the favorite house. That's the one.
That's right.
So I'm doing the kind of cursory update of the research each week, and I do the just in case I missed something. We've worked together a couple of years now in a different setup here. Yeah, different role. But I got a note, and I don't trust Wikipedia. Okay.
Well, I don't either, and I don't even know.
So I don't know if this is true. So you tell me if this is true. Did you play 2 weeks after having an appendectomy in 2006?
And I was telling a player the story today. I did. I literally did.
So you had so tell me.
So it was a Friday walkthrough before a game, and my stomach was just hurting. And I was like, what is this? And I waited, and I waited, and I waited. And we had to catch a Division III, an 8-hour bus ride at like 5 in the morning on game day.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't play like this. Yeah. So I finally at like 2 in the morning went into the emergency room.
So 2 in the morning, you get
Saturday
to the game.
morning.
You're there. It's game day.
And I go to the hospital. They do the scans, and they're like, we need to rush you. You've waited way too long.
Wow.
We got to get this out before it can burst. Took it out, missed that game, and then 1 week, and then I was back out in the practice field, and we were rolling 2 weeks later.
It's not a normal recovery time.
And I was a wide receiver with one of those big barrel things across my waist.
Like a QB,
yes,
like the rim protector.
Exactly right. So I played a couple catches, but
did you take a hit? Did you?
Yeah, I wasn't great with the ball in my hands. I would catch the ball and go down a lot of times, so it fit my style. Yep.
That's incredible.
That's I'm surprised. I don't know who put that on there, but that's amazing. That's facts.
That's up there.
Yep.
It's incredible.
Yep.
It really is. Second team all league, and then started coaching in 2008. That is. Yep. And that's just 2 weeks after an appendectomy. Tough guy. That's the tough guy award.
And I still remember we lost that game in River Falls. I still remember that game. I remember that game.
That's amazing. All right, we'll take a break. We're up against it here. We've got Coach Dickert here live as we get set for the Arizona State Sun Devils.
Harley Quinn and a collection of cons on a search and destroy mission in the Suicide Squad. Now available at Redbox. Intelligence Officer Amanda Waller enlists the most dangerous imprisoned supervillains in the world to carry out a dangerous task in exchange for lighter sentences. Bloodsport, Peacemaker, King Shark, Harley Quinn, and others trek through the dangerous jungle to help save the world from the apocalypse. One wrong move and they're dead, whether at the hands of their opponents, a teammate, or Waller herself. Watch the Suicide Squad and make it a Redbox night. Visit redbox.com for all the ways to watch.
This fall, Northern Quest will bring you Turf Club Sportsbook, the ultimate game changer. Real sports wagering in an exciting environment where you'll be able to bet, watch, and win like never before. Here's how to get ready. Practice sitting on the edge of your seat. Invest in a good blood pressure cuff. Okay. And remove any non-essential wallet clutter. Turf Club Sportsbook, the ultimate game changer. Coming this fall to Northern Quest.
Cougar football lives here.
Up the middle, touchdown! 1 second left. Cougars on top.
On the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
If you use natural gas, you recognize its blue flame. But natural gas is actually invisible and odorless. That's why Avista adds a rotten egg scent in case there's ever a leak. If you smell natural gas at home, get outside fast. Don't flip switches or do anything to cause a spark. Go somewhere safe. Call 911. Then Avista. We'll take care of the problem and tell you when it's okay to return. Till then, it's a good excuse to visit the neighbors. Avista. We just want you to be safe.
Spokane International Airport is a proud sponsor of Washington State University Athletics. The airport connects Cougar fans and alums to 21 nonstop destinations provided by 7 major airlines. Nonstop service is available to Atlanta, Boise, Chicago, Dallas, Denver, Everett, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, Minneapolis, Oakland, Orange County, Phoenix, Portland, Sacramento, Salt Lake City, San Diego, San Francisco, San Jose, and Seattle. And starting November 22nd, Phoenix Mesa. For real-time flight arrival and departure information, go to SpokaneAirports.net.
Welcome back to the show. Time now to look ahead at this week's game with the Coors Light Opponent Preview. Coors Light, mountain cold refreshment made to chill.
Back here live, we're talking ball with Coach Dickert as we get set for the Arizona State Sun Devils. We'll talk a little bit more about Arizona State here But before we do that, two gentlemen who are going to come on headset here. Caleb Ford-Dement, Old Dominion transfer, had a fantastic year with the Monarchs, been a really good player here with the Cougs. And Shaw Smith-Wade, of course. And now you go back a little bit with Shaw, and I want to hear your thoughts on both these guys. And they're on the defensive side. Yeah. You've worked with them. But Shaw in particular, I know going back a few years now.
Yeah, Shaw was a unique story just because we recruited him at Wyoming, where we're at. And we're like, we're going to get this steal at Wyoming. He was playing in Chicago at the time, but originally family from the Denver area and stuff like that. So we felt really confident, and, Coach, I'm coming. Yeah, let's go. All of a sudden, about a week later, Coach, I got a call from Washington State. Now I'm going to wait a little bit where, we start to get sweaty and go, and then as it keeps coming and this thing all goes down, we end up here at Washington State.
Well, that worked.
And we're like, yeah, Shaw, you're still coming. And then so him and his family came up on a visit here, when we first got here as a new staff. So just really, great person, great player, great energy. Future is so bright for Shaw, and we're just excited for what he brings to the table.
Love it. Now, Caleb has played a key role here, right?
Yep.
I mean, teams know, and you and I in the off-air just now, in the break, we're talking about how astute the coaches are in the pack and how detail-oriented, and there's a lot of resources, right? Very few things are missed. So when Caleb comes in the ball game, he's got to be ready, right? And has been.
And he is. And Caleb's future is still very, very bright.
Yeah.
We're excited what he's going to do for us in the future, and a guy that prepares. And he's one of those guys, every day after practice, I try to get a little run in. He's out there working his footwork, his steps, his hands. So there's bright things for his future, and just because he works so hard for it.
I'm going to peel that back for 1 second. I've noticed that you get your workout in, you get a little workout in right after practice.
I learned that as a young coach. When we started having kids, and I was like, I got to just be healthy. I got to be healthier. Like, you just get that vision, and I just started this habit with one of my GAs back at South Dakota State, and I've carried it on, like, you're already there, get it done.
Yeah.
So I do that now,
What's the routine, if I may pry? Or is it not that set?
No, it is set. I used to do, like, now I do gassers on Tuesday, I do 110s on Wednesday, and then I try to walk the fields on Thursday. So little push-ups in between.
I love it. Hey, earn your bragging rights at Northern Quest with more slot machines, table games, restaurants, lounges, and luxury hotel rooms than anyone else in the region. Northern Quest, yes, the best. More at northernquest.com. All right, let's dive a little bit. We got a few minutes before we get the guys on here into Arizona State, how they do it. Big run offense, and including the quarterback. I mean, Jaden Daniels. So there are 8 QBs over the last 20 years who have started in the pack as true freshmen. They will 2 of those 8 will be playing in this ball game in Tempe. Jaden Daniels has a ton of experience, and he's really mobile. He's a really good ball player.
Yeah, I mean, their offense just brings a unique challenge, because we actually went against this offense. We were at Wyoming. Their offensive coordinator was at Boise State.
Oh, okay.
So we have some experience on how they want to do it and what they want to do, but, a really unique player. People will say generally when you watch him, hey, let's just make him pass. Well, okay, he's completing 70% of his passes, and then he's explosive with the run. So it's a unique challenge, and, he does a good job of scramble the run, scramble the pass, and, you just can't, make up for that experience and athleticism. So, it'll be a tough challenge on Saturday.
Yeah, you hear about the threat that the quarterback poses and the math that it is a huge issue for defensive coordinators. It's this extra
+1 schemes.
Yeah, it's a huge issue. Yep. But sometimes the threat's really not truly there, right? Like some guys are kind of mobile. Rarely nowadays are guys totally immobile. And that's kind of a throwback thing. This is a very mobile QB. 4 rushing touchdowns, averages 6 yards a carry, 400 rush yards this year. Like, he can really wheel.
Absolutely. And I think they do a good job of picking and choosing their spots, when to, just to your point, because there's only so many of those type of players on each team.
Yeah.
It's just like we have to do with Jaden. Hey, there's times, hey, we need to get down. We need to, conserve, the way you play so you can play the next play. So they do a good job, and he's explosive.
Is that a George Hicks problem? Is it a Jihad Woods problem?
It'll be just get an extra defender down there issue. So what does that do? It puts a little more pressure on the corners, right? Got to play a little bit more man coverage, a little more quarter coverage, get down in the box. So it just stresses out guys as you keep adding people to the box to make sure your numbers are right.
I feel like the last 4 weeks, the tight ends have gotten progressively an inch taller, right? Like 6'5", Oregon State. 6'6", Stanford. BYU had a big one. I think 6'4", maybe.
Sure.
Curtis Hodges is 6'8".
Yes.
It's bigger and bigger.
And every once in a while you watch a guy in film, you're like, he's not that tall. This guy's that tall. He is that tall. 6'8". When you watch him, you're like, wow, what a catch radius.
Extra room under the number.
Yes. So the catch radius is unbelievable. And he's just, he's one of those guys that has a bright future, and they do really unique things and find ways to get him bubble screens, seam routes, screens. Very unique talent.
Yeah, 20 yards a catch.
I know.
I was like, wait a minute. 20 yards, 6'8" guy, a 20-yard catch.
I know, tight end.
Yeah.
Yes. You know, so very versatile.
Yeah, really, really good player. Coug fans may remember Brian Thompson. He was a leading receiver for Utah. He was their second leading receiver a couple of years ago.
Yep.
He's kind of just one of their guys, and he's a good ball player, but they've got a bunch of receiving targets also.
Yeah, a bunch of talent that they do a lot of different things with, you know, so just corralling the big play. I know we said that last week will be a big thing. You know, they're very much a big trick play, you know, type offense too, so we got to make sure we hit on those. So just kind of keeping them in front of us and winning first down.
Yeah, Rashad White, Chip Trainum are their two big backs, good players.
Yeah, White is just, I mean, he's big too. He's coming straight downhill. He runs with a purpose, so like I said, the tackling piece of it and making sure we're getting them down, you know, and limiting yards after contact. You know, that'll be big going into the game.
All right, Coach, thank you for this time.
Awesome.
We pull you out of your I know this is a combination of home time and film time on Thursdays.
Yeah,
so we appreciate it.
It's my final prep for the game, so we'll get it going.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Yes, thank you,
All
guys.
That's
thank
Coach
you guys.
Dickert as we get set for the Arizona State Sun Devils. We're going to talk to Shaw Smith-Wade and Caleb Ford Dement next after we take a break here, getting set for ASU.
We at Boeing are excited to celebrate with the fans and community at the annual Boeing Apple Cup Series. Get ready to experience the sights and sounds of a classic rivalry in person again. So whether you're cheering for the Huskies or the Cougars, Boeing sees the whole state of Washington as one united team because we go further together. Boeing, proud to sponsor the Boeing Apple Cup Series and support our employees across Washington.
This Cougar football tailgating moment is brought to you by Canoe Ridge Vineyards, proud partner of Washington State University Athletics. For this week's football matchup against Arizona State, smart Cougar tailgaters know to pair award-winning Canoe Ridge wines with a crowd-pleasing pregame meal. Your mealtime roster will score big points with Canoe Ridge wines backing it up. Canoe Ridge Vineyards, representing the best of award-winning Washington wines with more than 73 critical scores of 90-plus points. Come visit us at our Walla Walla tasting room or at canoeridgevineyard.com. Go Cougs!
You're listening to the U.S. Bank Cougar Coaches Show on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, Coug fans! Can't decide what to do with your late-night weekends? Why not Cosmic Bowling? Every Friday and Saturday night from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. is Cosmic Bowling at Zeppo's. At a price designed with everyone in mind, we are your destination for music, disco lights, and of course, bowling. Can't join us on the weekends? Zeppo's is the place to be for all ages every day of the week. With bowling, food, and drink specials, we offer prices that won't break the budget. You can even reserve your lane in advance with online reservations at Zeppos.com. When looking for fun in Pullman, look no further than Zeppo's.
Right now, the gap between what you should save and what you can save has never felt bigger. The U.S. Bank mobile app can help by finding ways to help you reach your savings goals with personalized insights that fit your real life to make your financial goals feel within reach. Because even our tools are smart enough to put people first. U.S. Bank. We'll get there together. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
This is the U.S. Bank Cougar Coaches Show on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
Runs into a massive Crimson, does not get the yard. It's a goal line stand.
Live from Zeppo's, here's the voice of the Cougars, Matt Chazanow.
Back at it live here. We're talking ball with Caleb Ford Dement and Shaw Smith-Wade, and we're getting Shaw seated here appropriately. For those listening, Shaw's working on a new seat, and we appreciate him putting a headset on here as we are set to talk ball with two of the defensive backs here for the Cougs. Coach Dickert was talking about his relationship with you guys. You know, one of the things that you guys excel at is being ready when called upon, right? Easier said than done, you know, and I know that whether it's Jalen who's out there or Derek Langford, and those guys have had great years, but I've watched you guys when the time comes, and what I was trying to get out in limited time before with Coach Dickert is there's a chance that an OC goes, hey, let's pick on that guy, and they haven't been able to do it, and that's easier said than done. What's that role like? Caleb, I'll start with you just because you're closer, arbitrarily. What's that role like as you're coming off there, and you have to be ready right away?
I just think you have to be mentally engaged in the game. Sometimes it is tough, maybe when you're not getting as many reps. But I don't know, like when just being part of the team when it's your time to, do your job, like that's what I try to keep my mind a part of is anything that I can do or any opportunity I can do to be on the field, like that is, a blessing for me coming from where I'm come from. So I just try to look at it that way, try to put perspective on it, and just do what I'm asked for.
Shaw, how about you? It's been an expanded role in that it's been the full season now. You know, last year was such a tough year, such an odd year, but now you're really kind of getting into things. How has that role been for you?
So like Caleb said, it always feels good to be ready, and when you get out there, you fill it out. You look into the stands, you be like, wow, I'm really out here. So it's not really much worried about being on the sideline. I appreciate being on the sideline and watching the guys older than me, watch them work. Maybe I can pick up on some things that I may lack that they might have, having games. So it always feels good to get out there.
When did you have your first I'm in the game moment here in college? You played a lot of ball, Caleb, at Old Dominion. You had a monster year before coming out here, and we can talk about that a little bit. But Shaw, you're a little bit younger, right? Yeah. And the fans weren't there last year. What was that moment like for you? When was it?
I was asked this a little earlier this season. I have to say the Oregon State. My first game last year, Oregon State, I played against Champ Flemings. He's like 5'4". He's a little guy, but, the quickness, the speed, he ran past me kind of quick, and I'm like, oh, okay. I really have to lock in now. I really got to tap in, really, because, it was really fast. And I'm like, wow. I got to the sideline. Coach Rich asked me. He was like, well, how was it? I'm like, he's pretty fast. He's pretty fast, but,
Did Renard tell you at all what was coming? Because they were high school.
Nah.
They were high school buddies. They played high school together.
Nah, he didn't really tell me. I think it was a surprise or something. He got me.
He's a unique player. Not that we need to gush on him, but he is 5'4", 5'5", really fast. But a lot of the Pac guys are fast. Caleb, how's it been for you, that adjustment this year?
I think it's been fine. I think having previous experience before coming here helped me. Already playing in Power 5 games and already having D1 experience kind of helped me transition here as far as preparing for the game and dealing with like some of the nerves that you have going into the game. So that having that previous experience definitely benefited me.
What is that experience like? You played and maybe expand upon a little bit. What was your time like with Old Dominion? Old Dominion is a program that 15 years ago didn't really have much of a history, but if you look recently, for those who are really locked into college football, ODU's had some really good teams, had some really good players, and you had a ton of pass breakups, right? Like just this incredible number. So what has that been like now you're out here in the Pac and you're trying to get adjusted, and it may be a little bit different, certainly different geographically?
I think the biggest thing as far as transferring from maybe like a Group of 5 concert from a Power 5 concert is the amount of checks and details that we have going into the game plan. I'd probably say, especially with our defense and the amount of checks that we put into it with how Coach Dickert likes to be detailed. And then I would say maybe like the sizes of the line. Like I'd say the skill position from Group of 5 to Power 5 really isn't that big of a difference. You still have guys that have speed, guys that have strength and that are bigger. But the sizes of the lines are completely different. Like you might see across the line 300, but you see some teams it's like 315, 325, 335, 350. So I'd say like that was maybe one of like the biggest differences for me.
What are we working with here? We got a 325, we got a 315 in Tempe. You got a couple of big boys for sure, no doubt. Yeah, some big guys. Do you guys, corner? I've joked with a couple corners over the years. The stereotype can be contact is limited. And now I'm not saying that's always, but how do you guys? Some prefer the coverage aspect, some prefer the hitting aspect. What do you think, Shaw? I'll start with you just because we had Caleb just now.
Man, I really can't pick. I like to do both. That's kind of my game. I feel like I'm aggressive. I really feel like that stereotype doesn't apply to me and our corner group.
I've yet to hear anybody go, I don't like that.
We'll get down there. We'll go down there. We'll lever the ball back inside. Any lineman pulling, we'll get down there.
Yeah. Caleb, what do you think?
I would say, honestly, being honest about myself is coming from ODU, and before I even started playing football, I was a basketball player, so moving my feet and kind of doing some of that press footwork, that was some of the things that made the transition to corner better for me. So when I first came into the game, I was more just like a cover guy. And honestly, as I keep working and I keep playing, I'm developing that physicality. And playing with these guys at Washington State, they really bring that out of me, and they really get on me if I'm not living up to the standard that we have with the physicality that we want to set. They make sure they call me out and approach me the right way and make sure I'm doing what I need to be doing.
Well, and in fairness now to you guys, I'm kind of busting you a little bit, but Jalen Watson, Derek Langford, they hit. right? I mean, they really do. Like, this is a corner group that seems to mandate that, you know, and maybe that scheme and maybe it's mentality, but also it probably is hard to come in the game and know Jalen and Derek are going to get into it, and then you got to do it, right? It's probably inspiring in some way, right?
Yeah. Honestly, I would say Jalen Watson is the most physical corner I've played with in my career in college, and he really sets the tone, and I have a lot of praise for how he approaches the game, his mindset, and what he expects out of us, because he brings that physicality, so he expects us to come with it too. So I'd say the guy that really brings that is Jalen, and he really harps on that. He is a physical guy, and that's kind of his calling card, is setting that physical tone on the field.
Yeah, I mean, you know, coming into college, I've always wanted to be aggressive and, you know, change the stereotype of corners not being able to tackle or not being able to want that contact. You know what I mean? So, you know, I came in wanting that, but D. Lang or, you know, Derek Lanford and Jalen Watson, they kind of made a big emphasis on that, and they amped it up just a little bit more like, bro, this is a different level. You really have to focus on technique and stuff like that. So, you know, yeah, I would say they inspired us and, you know, amp that up and make a big emphasis on that.
Love it. Love it. We'll talk about ASU. It's a big week for that. You know, it's a big week for that, and we'll talk about some of their personnel on offense. We're live here with Caleb Ford Dement. We got Shaw Smith-Wade. We're talking ball as we get set for the Arizona State Sun Devils, live here at Zeppos.
Harley Quinn and a collection of cons are on a search and destroy mission in the Suicide Squad. Now available at Redbox. Intelligence Officer Amanda Waller enlists the most dangerous imprisoned supervillains in the world to carry out a dangerous task in exchange for lighter sentences. Bloodsport, Peacemaker, King Shark, Harley Quinn, and others trek through the dangerous jungle to help save the world from the apocalypse. One wrong move and they're dead, whether at the hands of their opponents, a teammate, or Waller herself. Watch the Suicide Squad and make it a Redbox night. Visit redbox.com for all the ways to watch.
Spokane International Airport is a proud sponsor of Washington State University Athletics. The airport connects Cougar fans and alums to major centers throughout the West with over 60 daily departures to 21 nonstop destinations served by Alaska, Allegiant, American, Delta, Frontier, Southwest, and United Airlines. Real-time arrival and departure flight information is available at www.spokaneairports.net. Spokane International Airport, when it's time to fly.
This is the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield. Time to bring the claws back out.
For the win, Washington State forces a fumble and takes home the W.
The Cougars close out October in the desert when they make a Saturday trip to Arizona State.
Reaches for the goal line, touchdown.
Kickoff is at noon.
Go-ahead score. Max Borghi reaches for the lead.
It's all on your home for Cougar football. The Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
It's a new season. Get ready for more men's and women's college sports excellence. Trophies will be awarded in June to schools who take the top spot in the 2021-22 Learfield Directors Cup. The premier award recognizes one winning institution in all competitive divisions. Follow your favorite team's progress as seasonal standings are announced at L Directors Cup on Twitter and online at directorscup.org. The crowning achievement in college athletics.
You may be eager to break ground on a new outdoor project, but never just start digging. Buried electric and natural gas lines can be anywhere. It's the law to call 811 at least 2 business days before you dig. Spray paint white lines showing your dig zone, and a crew will mark the utility lines. Mark accuracy zone is within 2 feet of the mark, so always hand dig to expose the line first. Call 811 before you dig. The service is free for residential customers. Avista, we just want you to be safe.
That to-do list you have needs one more thing. Chill. It's an easy thing to do. Just crack open an ice-cold Coors Light and chill. Take the afternoon off and binge watch anything. Go to happy hour and stay for a couple hours. Who's counting anyways? Or hang out with just your dog, because you've had enough human interaction this week. Whatever you do, do it with a Coors Light. Mountain Cold Refreshment made to chill. 2020 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Cougar football from Learfield.
Well, break a tackle up the field to the 40. He could break it 30. Here he goes 20. He's going all the way. Touchdown, Washington State. This place is unhinged. Listen to that crowd.
We at Boeing are excited to celebrate with the fans and community at the annual Boeing Apple Cup Series. Get ready to experience the sights and sounds of a classic rivalry in person again. So whether you're cheering for the Huskies or the Cougars, Boeing sees the whole state of Washington as one united team because we go further together. Boeing, proud to sponsor the Boeing Apple Cup Series and support our employees across Washington.
We're back here live at Zeppo's. We're talking ball. Shaw Smith-Wade and Caleb Ford Dement. We've got the game against Arizona State coming up in Tempe. Attention student gamers, could be you guys, TBD. The $150,000 Level Next Madden National Championship is back, sponsored by Unilever, supporting Feeding America with 1 million meals this fall. Registration closes October 11th, although it may be extended, but be sure to sign up now at levelnextesports.com. We were talking off air. You played basketball. Do you still – I've asked a couple guys this. Like, is there a run? Is there like a football team – basketball group?
Yes, there absolutely is.
Okay, all right. And who's in it? What are we dealing with?
It's funny because we always have this conversation. We're like, who's the starters? Who's coming off the bench?
So what's the answer?
Who you got first?
You got first pick.
Honestly,
you pick yourself.
There's a lot of guys in our room that play basketball. Some of the guys I'm gonna say are right here in our room: Derek Langford, Jay Watt, me, Chris Jackson.
Yep.
Fonz. I know Justin Anderson is in our room too. He plays basketball. Like everybody in the corner, corner group plays basketball.
Love it.
So I'd say like mostly.
What's your five?
My five?
What's your five?
I'm going biasly me. I'm putting myself in there. I'm putting myself at the point. I'm taking D-Lang at the 2. Okay. We have size. We got 3 and D. Jalen's getting on the court. But we have him there just from defensive purposes. We don't need you doing any of that.
Don't shoot. Is the red light?
Get in the corner. He's got that little stand-up jump shot. Get in the corner. Stay there. I'm taking Fonz at the 4. We're going to stretch the floor. Okay. So I'm going to smaller. And then I'm going with Ty Harris from the Bay. He's my center. I know he's going to hold it down.
Big guy. Did you guys know? Did you know Liam Ryan played with the Ball brothers?
I had no idea.
Liam played with Lonzo.
He played at Tino Hills?
He grew up like right down the street from him and would play in the streets with him. Ask him. He probably backed him down.
I'm gonna have to ask Liam about that.
You do?
I would never see that from him.
Played with Milan Aqua and Lonzo Ball and all those guys.
Never.
Probably played with all 3 Ball brothers. Probably did. He probably dunked on all of them.
No, but he does that. I could see that though. He has an aggressive personality. Like he could. He's not athletic, but he could definitely. His edge and his heart is going to get him going in the paint, though. Yeah, I could see that.
But you're not a basket. You're a coach. You're a coach.
Basically.
Yeah.
I could get out there and play some defense, though.
Well,
all the guys know.
I don't doubt that for a second. I love it. We've got. I want to talk a little bit about ASU, right? Okay. And for you guys, I know there was a lot of change in the program, right, over the last 10 days or so. But defensively, right, you guys are kind of rolling. I mean, the defense, Coach Dickert is now the head coach. You guys have had Coach Malone, right, inserted. But in my observations, the drills and all that is seems pretty seamless. And Coach Malone seems like a great guy.
No, yeah, for sure.
And he knows what's going on. And he coached with Coach Dickert at the D2 level for quite a while at a really high level, right? Yeah. How has that been? How's Coach Malone doing?
I mean, for me personally, I have a pretty good relationship with Coach Malone, just like Coach Rich, because when I first came in the summer, when Coach Richardson was off recruiting, Coach Malone was here in the summer breaking down the defense with me. So I was always coming in the summer probably like maybe 2 or 3 times a week having film studies with him. So my relationship with him was already kind of building as we were going through the season. So when it transitioned, it was tough, obviously, to see Coach Richardson go. But we couldn't have been in a better situation to already have someone that understands what we're talking about, but also understands our personalities, how we operate, and be able to come coach us the right way.
Thanks. So, with Coach Malone, when I came in the 2020 year, Coach Malone was in the room with Coach Rich. So, I was cool with what happened, you know, the change that happened. And like he said, we couldn't have been in any other position, any other greater position. You know, with him, we knowing how he coached, you know, we knowing what mindset he's going to come in with. So, you know, with Coach Malone coming in, it was great.
Yeah, I'm lucky enough to have some access to that. And you guys have probably seen me standing there just staring at you a little bit on the sideline there during practice. And for that first day, I saw him there. And in the moment, it was, oh, he's got it.
Yeah,
these drills they're rolling.
But he's definitely experienced too. Like, even though I know he was a defensive coordinator before he came here.
He was, yeah.
And the way he breaks down things, so he's such an analytical guy.
Right.
And he looks at the game very, very detailed. So he just gives us so much perspective on not even what our job is, but what's going on around us, maybe in our triangle with our nickel and our safety, or even maybe what's going on in the run game. And he'll just do it without even thinking about it, because he's just so detailed and locked into the game, and he's seen so much that when he breaks down things, he really breaks it down into pieces. And I mean, I don't have enough good things to say about him.
That's awesome. That's really, really fun. So now, Shaw, you're up here against an Arizona State team that shows you what? Like, what jumps out to you when you see this ASU squad you're trying to stop?
You know, obviously, the quarterback, I believe his name is Jaden Daniels. You know, he has the ability to move, so, you know, that's one of our keys. We're going to try and be tough up front. You know, we have to be tough up front. We know that they run the ball. So, you know, we're going to try to dial in on that.
So you're a corner, right? And you've got some stiff competition here, right? Brian Thompson, for instance, or Ricky Pearsall. These guys have played a lot of ball at a high level, okay? And let's say you're running with the corner, and it's a pass play. Let's call it 3rd and 7. And Jaden Daniels rolls out and takes off. How do you see it? Is it a verbal call? You know, how do you know? That's part of the issue, right? Is just being able to keep track of it all.
I think, it'll just come down to us being disciplined when he rolls out, knowing what zone we're in, if we're in man, knowing when to lock on, knowing when to push to the sideline, when to keep on pushing to the field. It's really just being locked in as a defense, understanding who's got the quarterback maybe on that play and letting him take care of that and making sure we're just taking care of what we need to do.
Yeah, that's easier said than done.
Yeah, Caleb hit the head on the nail. You know, we got to be disciplined, and, you know, depending on which coverage we're in, you know, we got to focus on whenever we got to move to the sideline and pedal whenever we got to stay with our receiver.
And you mentioned the running backs, White and Trainum and Gata, who hasn't played as much lately, but he's had some pretty big games. 3 backs plus the QB, they run the ball a ton. 4 big tight ends, too, they bring in.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they definitely, especially with their new coach and how they set up their culture, is they want to run the ball, they want to get in 12 personnel, and even though they can throw the ball and they do make big plays on the outside, their offense definitely starts with them running the ball and Jaden Daniels being able to extend plays, and you having to account for that.
Yeah, it's like okay, here's our offensive scheme, right? Bunch of tight ends, wide receivers, and then, oh, by the way, we're gonna just roll that pocket out and do this whole other thing within the scheme. Easier said than done in stopping these guys.
Absolutely.
Impressive. All right, well, we've got our final break here. We'll come back. We'll put a bow on it with Caleb Ford-Dement, Shaw Smith-Wade, live here at Zeppos, getting set for ASU.
You may be eager to break ground on a new outdoor project, but never just start digging. Buried electric and natural gas lines can be anywhere. It's the law to call 811 at least 2 business days before you dig. Spray paint white lines showing your dig zone, and a crew will mark the utility lines. Mark accuracy zone is within 2 feet of the mark, so always hand dig to expose the line first. Call 811 before you dig. The service is free for residential customers. Avista, we just want you to be safe.
That to-do list you have needs one more thing. Chill. It's an easy thing to do. Just crack open an ice-cold Coors Light and chill. Take the afternoon off and binge watch anything. Go to happy hour and stay for a couple hours. Who's counting anyways? Or hang out with just your dog, because you've had enough human interaction this week. Whatever you do it with a Coors Light. Mountain cold refreshment made to chill. 2020 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Cougar football from Learfield.
Well, make a tackle up the field to the 40. He could break it 30. Here he goes 20. He's going all the way. Touchdown, Washington State. This place is unhinged. Listen to that crowd.
We at Boeing are excited to celebrate with the fans and community at the annual Boeing Apple Cup Series. Get ready to experience the sights and sounds of a classic rivalry in person again. So whether you're cheering for the Huskies For the Cougars, Boeing sees the whole state of Washington as one united team because we go further together. Boeing, proud to sponsor the Boeing Apple Cup Series and support our employees across Washington.
This Cougar football tailgating moment is brought to you by Canoe Ridge Vineyards, proud partner of Washington State University Athletics. For this week's football matchup against Arizona State, smart Cougar tailgaters know to pair award-winning Canoe Ridge wines with a crowd-pleasing pregame meal. Your mealtime roster will score big points with Canoe Ridge wines backing it up. Canoe Ridge Vineyards, representing the best of award-winning Washington wines with more than 73 critical scores of 90-plus points. Come visit us in our Walla Walla tasting room or at canoeridgevineyard.com. Go Cougs!
You're listening to the U.S. Bank Cougar Coaches Show. Cougar Coaches Show on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield. Here's the voice of the Cougars, Matt Chazanow.
Back here live, we're talking ball. It is Arizona State week. We're going to Tempe tomorrow, and Caleb Ford-Dement and Shaw Smith-Wade have a high bar. A couple of the things that really jump out for ASU we didn't talk about that is hard, and not a ton you can do proactively, but the offensive line's been really good. You know, the offensive line for Arizona State, and part of that's helped by the fact that they run the ball so much, right? But they haven't given up a lot of QB hurries. They haven't given up a lot of sacks. And Jaden Daniels is super mobile, so it creates all this extra pressure on you two gentlemen. Yeah. Easier said than done. It's a big opportunity for you guys. They're off of a bye. You go down there. What do you guys care that it's hot? I know, people are like, oh, well, it's hot. It's 90 degrees down there. It might be kind of nice, actually.
I think it's going to feel
Yeah, I feel pretty good. And we got 67.
I'm hoping for it. Honestly, I'm coming from Texas, for it to be 80 degrees in October right now, that feels great.
Feels good.
That's great.
You got one homework assignment. We got 30 seconds left. Shaw, you got to spread the word. Caleb's picking himself first pick on the basketball team for the Cougar football squad.
So, look, this is where I'm going. Point guard, I got Derek Langford. At 2, I'm going to have
you got to go quick.
Jalen Watson.
Okay.
At 3, I got to have Cooper Mathers.
Okay.
At 4,
yeah.
At 4, I'm going to put C.J. Moore.
All right.
At 5, I'm going to have Liam Ryan.
Love it. There it is. There it is. Huge thanks to Jared Brent Goober behind the camera, Jerry Kylo, Tim Leonard back in the studio. Thanks to everybody here. Thanks to these two guys, Coach Dickert. Go Cougs.